We've lifted more people out of poverty in the last 15 years than in the entire course of human history.
This claim is one of the most common defenses of capitalism. And as you might expect, it is deliberately a misdirection. I mean, even if we concede, just for the sake of argument, if we concede that capitalism has saved hundreds of millions of people from poverty, which is actually something that they've only started to say recently because they want to give capitalism credit for what China has done, for how many people China has lifted out of poverty. They want to give the credit for that to capitalism. So even if we concede that, it's nothing but a deflection from the literal billions of victims of capitalism, because capitalism was a driving force in colonization, in slavery, modern slavery, famine, ecological disaster, deadly working conditions, on and on. So, for example, European colonization is estimated to have caused 50 million deaths. Just British colonialist rule in India killed 1.8 billion Indians. Capitalist-driven wars have resulted in 160 million deaths. Upwards of 20 million Africans died in the transatlantic slave trade. This is all from the impact of capitalism. Take credit for that too. And that's just in the history. That's just in the past. But if you're talking about today, well, at least 8 million people die every year because they can't afford medicine. That's capitalism. About 9 million people die every year because they can't afford food. Half of those are children under the age of 5. Well, that's capitalism. 3 million people die every year because of unsafe working conditions. That's capitalism. So that's about 20 million people per year, or about 500 million, half a billion people since the year 2000. And that's just talking specifically about deaths. We're not talking about general suffering, because if we talk about that, well, there's at least 50 million people living in conditions of modern slavery right now. Around 15 million people are forcibly displaced for large economic projects, development, and so on every year. That's capitalism. 1 billion people are living in extreme poverty right now. That's extreme poverty. That means it's below the official World Bank poverty threshold of $2 a day. So if you make $3 a day, that doesn't include you. 854 million people are undernourished today because food prices are too high. That's capitalism. Over 2 billion people lack access to essential medicines due to high costs. That's capitalism. I mean, I could go on. And like I said, the World Bank set the international poverty line at around $2 a day, and anyone earning anything above that is technically considered to have been lifted out of poverty. So yes, if you make just $2.50 per day, capitalism has rescued you. It's a deliberately low standard designed to make the numbers look better. It doesn't reflect any meaningful improvement in their lives. It simply changes the way that poverty is measured, just to try to make capitalism look like it's doing more than it is and helping more than it is. You eliminate poverty by redefining it as not poverty.